jumping out of airplanes, flying like birds. That is crazy. I like this phone. This is a nice fucking phone.
So, I'm gonna be upfront with you guys, okay? Vaas is one of my favorite villains probably ever. In fact, he's the reason this whole channel exists. When Far Cry 3 first came out, I was just enamored by Vaas. I memorized all his lines. I played the first half of the game over and over again because that's the best part, let's be honest. And he's one of the first characters that really made me fall in love with villains. And here we are almost 3 years into my channel, and I dissected a new villain for 134 weeks in a row. I don't miss. Making a video to honor one of my favorite villains was a task I found to be impossible. If insanity is doing the exact same thing over and over again, expecting things to change, I can't make this video the same as the last 134 reviews. Something has to change, so let's switch it up.
My turn. Keeps getting better.
How many more bones will you crush?
Now I'm the bad guy.
She wouldn't even harm a fly.
That is crazy. I like this phone. It's a nice fucking phone. Welcome back to Villain Review episode 135, and today I will be reviewing the fantastic villain Vaas from the 2012 game Far Cry 3. Is he that good of a villain, or is my bias just messing me up in the head? Am I blinded? Let's break him down and find out.
You see, the thing about our loved ones, right? Our fucking loved ones! They come and they blindside you every fucking time. So they say to me, they say, Vaas, who the fuck is it going to be? Them or me? Me or them?
Come and sail away with me to the Rook Islands, where a young boy named Vaas loved his sister more than anything else in life, and I respect that, okay? Because loving your siblings is super cool, unless they kind of suck. With his sister Citra becoming a goddess among the natives of the island, she began looking for the perfect warrior, being the perfect and only companion she'd ever need. Because he loved his sister more than anything, Vaas began to think, hey, maybe I could be this warrior, and from there he'd do literally everything and anything his sister asked of him. Oh, but I forgot to mention this, Citra's batshit crazy. Vaas would kill for his sister, reenact some Lannister scenes with his sister, and let his obsession with pleasing his sister grow, becoming extremely jealous of just anyone who tried to gain her affection or get in between them. Somebody call Hexus, because we got some toxic love going on. This is more toxic than Johnny Depp and Will Turner, because what's going on there? In return for Vaas, you know, like dedicating his life to her, Citra would respond by manipulating him, stabbing him, attacking him mentally, and being maybe the worst sister of all time. It's sadder than Marley and me. Because Vaas was doing murder on the daily while being manipulated by and pretty much tortured by his sister, his sanity would very reasonably start to like just go bye-bye. Torn apart by the turmoil in his life both inside and out, Vaas would eventually find the strength to leave his sister and join up with sex trafficker, drug seller, and all around just awful person Hoyt Volker. Seeing some potential in Vaas, Hoyt would eventually promote him to become his right-hand man, where they'd capture skydiving douchebag Jason Brody, and that, folks, is our origin. Honestly, there is a ton to talk about here, and overall, I think everything about Vaas's origin is super interesting. Vaas's story is one of abuse from his sister, and we see that there's such thing as loving someone too much. It's weird to say that because on the surface, Vaas might seem like just a Joker clone, but the stuff with Citra really sets him apart from other crazy type villains. One thing I like about Vaas's origin is that in Far Cry 3, it's not laid out plain and simple, and if you're not paying attention, it's easy to miss. You have to look in between the lines of what Vaas is saying, and when you stop for a second to actually hear what's going on, it's a great commentary on Vaas, but also the game's themes as a whole. When the main character of the game, douchebag Jason, starts to get closer to Citra, Vaas warns him about his sister and the unrealistic expectations she puts on the figure of the warrior. Again, people pass over this because they might take it to be just the ramblings of a villain, but in reality it's foreshadowing Jason becoming an even bigger monster than that of the game's villain. Just like Far Cry 5, it can be seen as a commentary on gaming in general, taking action without question and trusting people who we really have no reason to. In the world of Far Cry 3, where both Vaas and Jason have made a run at the title of warrior, Vaas is the one who broke free of the cycle and is now warning Jason to turn back while you can. I love how Vaas's origin is interwoven into the story, and it makes him feel present in the narrative long past his own death.
The thing is, up there, you thought you had a chance. Way up in the fucking skies, you thought you had your finger on the pussy trigger. But hermano, down here, hit the ground.
In my opinion, the best aspect of Vaas's character is his actual personality, because I think it's just so damn fascinating. He's not just Mexican Mohawk Joker, because that's a claim that does not do Vaas justice, because he's so much more than that. The dude is, yeah, absolutely insane, but he's not just some crazy guy running around on an island. Because Vaas is like an ogre, right? He's got layers. When it comes to insane characters, the thing that sets them apart is actually what makes them crazy, and it's here you find differences among traits that might start to feel repetitive. Vaas is unpredictable and unstable, yeah, just like Joker, but was Joker's love for his family manipulated into forcing him to do horrible things? Caesar says no. On the surface, Vaas has those insane qualities, but underneath there's way more going on in his head. Vaas is a man who's living by his own rules in his own world, because for so much of his life, he was defined by his sister's rules, living to fulfill every one of her needs, but now that he's finally broken out of the cycle, he's gonna try and take control of his own life. That's not to say he puts his time and energy into productive good guy stuff, because after all, this guy is still a villain. He torments Jason constantly throughout the game, and his monologues provide a lot of good insight into what he's thinking.
Hello, internet peoples. Between you and me, you should be outside playing in the sunshine instead of watching this bullshit.
Let's talk about Michael Mando, because the dude absolutely kills it.
Going home.
Mando brings the loud burst of energy to Vaas, but he's also able to tap into a side of him that's more vulnerable. I buy that he's a lunatic trying to burn Jason and his friends alive, but also that he's a younger brother that's been taken advantage of. He might not be a sympathetic villain, but what I like about Vaas is that the story of him losing his sanity really is a tragic one. Vaas is an incredibly smart person with a gift for complex thought, but he was robbed of a better life by the manipulation of his sister. When he's trying to warn Jason and the player of what Citra is molding them into, he feels like the man behind the curtain, the man Jason wishes he could be, that of someone who has broken out of Citra's cycle. He's entertaining and intimidating, and he's the perfect counter to Jason.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy.
Every scene with Vaas in Far Cry 3 is amazing, and the moments Vaas is on screen are legitimately when the game is at its peak. Is Vaas the only good thing about this game? No, of course not. But is he the best character? Yeah, of course. What do you think? What do you think? You think Buck the Fuck is better? Riley Brody, get out of here. Is he the single best part of this game? I'm gonna say yeah. The intro scene perfectly sets the tone for how dark the game is gonna get, and I love how much of a wake-up call it is from the lighthearted college frat boy vibes of the opening. It sets Vaas up as a villain who's just off his rocker, but also as someone whose thoughts are complex and how he views the world around him. And then we got the next monologue, and this one is even better. Here, Vaas opens up just a little bit about his own struggles and his relationship with his sister, and damn, you can just feel the pain buried underneath his voice. You can hear just how hurt he still is by what happened with Citra. Huge props to Michael Mando here. And then we get arguably one of the most iconic video game scenes of all time. Yeah, I'm gonna say it, the definition of insanity monologue. Everyone knows this one. I love how this scene is written, and even better how Michael Mando performs it. The whole monologue serves as a perfect commentary on the game and its themes, the idea of insanity being something you do over and over again expecting things to change. Vaas was insane when he worshipped his sister. He served her day in and day out, hoping one day she'd finally recognize him and return the same level of affection. The people trying to be the warrior are insane, falling victim to Citra's schemes and manipulation. I could go on, but this video is already getting kind of long. It's a classic scene for a reason, because it's freaking amazing. I also really like Vaas's final moments because it's a sad moment for Jason, and Vaas knows it. Here to kill Vaas, Jason has committed himself to Citra and bought into her lies, and Vaas dies a sacrificial death to try and show Jason just how similar the two of them are. Also, I gotta pay some love to the Insanity DLC, okay? Because we get our best look at exactly what Vaas went through for Citra, giving even more context to the amount of manipulation and torture that turned a young boy into the monster we know Vaas to be. Let's talk about the monologues a bit though, because they are so good. In fact, they changed the course of how Far Cry games were made. Vaas has everything, right? He's scary, he's charismatic, he has an awesome performance, and his many monologues put these traits on display. The reception of Vaas was so great, every Far Cry game since has tried to recapture that lightning in a bottle magic of Vaas. I actually made a whole video about it if you want to hear more of my thoughts on that. Also, if you have not checked out the live action Far Cry experience with Michael Mando, I highly recommend it. It's fantastic. Give Vaas his own show, okay? Ubisoft, stop playing with me. Dude, people are going crazy about our newest villain. They all love him. Oh, really? They love Hoyt? That's kind of random, but I mean, who could forget his classic line? Vaas, stop scamming the hostages! Yeah, no, actually, nobody likes Hoyt. They all kind of hate him. Oh, really? I mean, hey, Buck's a rapist, but I mean, whatever the people like, I guess. No, it's Vaas. It's Vaas. They all like Vaas. Oh, really? I mean, we should try to make an even better villain, though, for our next game, Far Cry 4. Yeah, of course. What did you have in mind? All right, so check this out. I was thinking his name could be Pagan Min, and he's like Vaas, but he wears pink. And you think people would like that? Yeah, don't worry, they're gonna love him because he's gonna sit you down like a stern parent and monologue to you, just like Vaas. Yeah, sure, but like, what are we gonna do with his backstory, you know? Because with Vaas, we have the whole thing with Citra and all that abuse, and then in Far Cry 5, we can do Jesus Vaas. I'm sorry, you said what? Yeah, he's kind of like if Vaas was Jesus, but don't worry, he has siblings to like break it up, you know, make things different. Woman Vaas, redhead Vaas, and white guy Vaas. Okay, but we can't copy Vaas for every single villain we make. Yeah, I think you might be right. But now we're going to. No, people are going to get tired of that. We have to switch things up. Yeah, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, I think you got a point. But hey, just a side topic, have you seen Better Call Saul? It has Vaas in it. Yeah, of course I have. It's a great show. So then we do Gus Fring Vaas. He's like Vaas, but he's Gus Fring.
I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me. Okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you! Okay? Fuck you! It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill in, man.
You've heard me say how tragic Vaas is and how he's full of charisma, but keep in mind, he's not a good person. He might have been born good, but all that trauma and manipulation he went through turned him into somebody who doesn't really feel sympathy for people around him. I mean, does this look like somebody that feels sympathy like a normal human? Vaas is a human trafficker, he's a murderer, and probably done a whole bunch of things I don't even want to talk about. His actions aren't excusable at all, but it's what drove him to do these awful things that makes him so interesting. It's a story of a kid who loved his sister and how he turned into a monster who does awful things we see him do, all because he was manipulated and taken advantage of. Because he does all these horrible things, it makes him far scarier and who's just a villain who's really unpredictable. He kills Grant in the game's first mission, establishing himself as a threat, and from there it makes you a lot more concerned for Jason and his friends when he tries to like burn them alive or drown them and all that crazy stuff. But that's not what makes Vaas scary. Any villain can do those things. He stands out because on top of those threats, he challenges Jason and the player to think. In Michael Mando's own words,
his weapons are not just guns, they're ideas. He's playing with ideas that are dangerous. He's juggling like ideas like grenades.
I feel like I've talked about him and Jason a lot, but it's the philosophical ideas he plants in Jason and the gamer's head that echo throughout the entire game.
Are you enjoying my sister's company? Huh? She's gonna make a warrior out of you. You're so fucked up, Jason. Come on, pull the trigger.
Vaas is a villain with a rich backstory, and the more you understand it, the more he starts to make sense as a character. We see a guy whose love for his sister was taken advantage of, and the suffering he endured ended up costing him his own sanity. Michael Mando brings so much charisma to the role, and it's just one aspect of what makes Vaas so damn entertaining. And it's truly one of the best performances I've ever seen in a game. Vaas isn't just a typical crazy villain either, because underneath the layer of insanity, you can see a very intelligent and philosophical man. He's always entertaining to watch, and he's so good, he changed the entire franchise and how it wrote its stories. You can't say that about every villain. Maybe I'm biased, or maybe he's just that good. I'm gonna give Vaas a 10 out of 10.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, maybe consider hitting subscribe because I make a new villain review every single Monday I don't miss. Let me know what you think of Vaas in the comments, and of course who I should review next. Thanks again for watching and for all the support. See you next time.